Good morning. This is website building workshop number 1. I'm here at Stronghurst United Methodist Church and really appreciate you all coming today. Basically, the idea is we need to get our churches into the 21st century and get people websites. And we're going to be talking a little bit about why websites are important for churches. The website that we're using today is churchwebsites.drjimo.net. So if you're not yet to that website, get over to churchwebsites.drjimo.net. I do teacher workshops and I'm in teacher education as a full-time job, and I usually wear a suit coat or a tie, and I felt like I needed to do that today. However, I also wanted to just wear a t-shirt. This is one of my favorite t-shirts. It's from one of our mission trips a few years ago to Denver, where we got a chance to work with children. You have an agenda in front of you, and we will proceed with the agenda. So we've just gone through some introductions, which I did not record on the recording. There was a comment made that the United Methodist Church National has a Find a Church feature. And I will be covering the Find a Church feature and how you can update your information in workshop number 2, okay? You can also Google for it yourself and figure it out yourself, but I will be covering that in workshop number 2, how you can update your information. It is true that the search engines will find that, okay? And it is important to update that so that your worship times are correct and so on. It is quite limited what you can put there, so having a website is important. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself. And then I want to get started here. I taught in the schools for 10 years. 9 of those 10 years I taught with technology. In the fall of 1980, I taught the first computer math class at Centura High School. And we had a principal that was pushing technology. In 1999, I was taught how to make web pages, and it changed my life as a teacher. I use web pages in a lot of my face-to-face teaching, and I teach online classes. So I enjoy technology and teaching. Okay, so we're over at the website, and you can see it up here on the screen. The home page is here. And this tells about the overall process. I was going to do a workshop for the orientation and overview, but when I was talking to people, the recommendation was to put that online. So I hope that you've looked at the orientation and overview, why churches need websites, exploring some websites. This example church website right here is made with Google, and I'm going to be demonstrating today how to do that. Here is a website, St. John's Church, that was made with WordPress. I'm going to be demonstrating WordPress today. And then here's the Wesley Church website that we have. And this is provided to us, so to speak, important comment there, so to speak, by an outside provider. It's pretty expensive. Now, in terms of the content and putting stuff on here, we have to do that at Wesley Church. I am not going to be demonstrating how to do this type of website today. So there are 2 introductory videos here in the orientation and overview. But we're at website workshop number 1. So I'm going to go to the page for website workshop number 1. And Here is the information about this particular website. And we're going to have 5 handouts today. The first one is the agenda, which you already have in front of you. The second one is the website creation hosting option. So I'm going to pass out that handout now. Okay, I guess I didn't state my one basic ground rule. My one basic ground rule today is to ask questions, okay? Even if it is a simple question, okay? Like, what's the difference between a website and a web page, okay? Anything like that, please ask, okay? We're also just learning how to run computers and do technology today. So we're all Christians here. We got 100% Christians at this workshop. So don't be afraid to ask a question, even if it's a simple question. So there's 3 basic options here. There's the free option, the $72 option, and the 4-figure option. Okay, you can make a Google site. It's free. It does leverage the Google Drive, the Google Docs, the Google Sheets. It's quite easy. Right now, it's kind of limited, okay? By the way, you cannot put blogs on there yet. A blog is a web log, okay? And there's lots of bloggers out there, right? What they do is they, give their reactions to something, okay? Maybe they were at the Flag Day ceremony down at the park, and they come back to their office and they type up a reaction to it. They have blog entries have a tendency to be kind of timely and on a topic. Right now, you cannot have blog entries on a Google site, but there might be workarounds. WordPress is the most widely used web server style on the internet. About 30% of all websites on the entire internet use WordPress, okay? There's a free version, which I'm going to show you today, and then there's a paid version. You can either pay WordPress directly or you can go through a third party. I have a website through 1&1 Ionis. It's kind of like GoDaddy, let's say, but they don't advertise on the Super Bowl. It's pretty low cost, but it's very functional. I use 1&1 for my website hosting. WordPress is very powerful. It's full-featured. It's been around a long time. And then the third example I have down here at the bottom is the My Church website. There are quite a few companies out there that provide website hosting for churches, okay? And this is the one that we picked at Wesley Church about, 5 years ago. Are there any questions on the 3 basic options for website hosting? Okay, thank you very much. So the point is, through the Great Rivers Annual Conference, you can have a WordPress site through them, okay? In fact, when we get to the work time, I might look at your website because I didn't know about that.
Okay, is WordPress site option, is it capable of a blog?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for asking. So WordPress is certainly capable of a blog, In fact, that's how it started, 12 years ago. But it's grown into a full website hosting thing. Okay, so let me explain here. So you have a domain name, okay, which you have to reserve for yourself. In my case, the domain name is drjimo.net, okay? And when I pay One-on-One Ionis my $72 a year, one of the things I'm paying for is my domain name to reserve that. Secondly, you have to have a hosting place, okay? A computer that's hooked up to the internet that's actually going to house your site, okay? And be on the internet 24/7, okay? So the One-on-One company has the computer that's holding the website, okay? Now, WordPress is just a tool. WordPress is a tool for making websites. It's an authoring tool. It's like Microsoft Word is used to make documents, okay? WordPress is a tool for making websites, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So let's go back to the website. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the agenda here and see where we're at. Okay, cool. We are ready to get in here, and we're going to create a Google site. So what I need you to do is somehow log into Google, okay? Personally, I start with my Gmail, okay? However you want to log into Google, log into Google. So I'm going to log in to my Gmail the way I normally log into my Gmail. And I think I'm going to, okay, so when you're in a Google product, Google is a lot of things. Google is YouTube, it's Google Docs, it's Google Sheets, it's Google Sites, and so on. When you're in Google, up here in the upper right-hand corner, I call it the waffle iron menu. It's a 3x3 dots. It's a Google Apps. Let's go ahead and click that. And here are the Google tools. I could go to Gmail. I could go to my calendar. Right here is Google Drive. Okay, so go ahead and hit Google Drive. And what this is going to do is open up another tab. This tab right here is my Gmail, and this tab right here is my Drive. And it's a good idea to get used to this little icon, this green, yellow, and blue triangle. This is the icon for Google Drive, okay? Now, you can create folders in here. So why don't we create a folder here. So come down into your white space and right-click and hit New Folder. And you can change the name of it later, but let's go ahead and put Church Website. You can name it something else if you want to. We're going to create this. And just like the rest of computers, you can have folders inside of folders. But go ahead and double-click your church website folder, and you should see something like this. So here we are in the Google Drive, and right now I don't have anything in here. Notice that I can drag and drop. So if you have files over here, you could drag and drop these in here if you wanted to. You can also right-click, go ahead and right-click and look at the options. We could have a folder inside the folder. I can do a Google Doc. I can do a Google Sheet, Google Slides. Go ahead and hit More. And right here, it is Google Sites. So go ahead and hit Google Sites. Okay, so what I want to do now is give you a quick overview, and I need to have your attention up here. I'm going to give you a quick overview of how this works. Okay, if you want to try to keep up with me and do it along with me, you can, but I would almost recommend that you just watch me because I am going to give you some work time. Okay, then we're going to give you some work time and you can try it out for yourself. I'm going to go ahead and give you the next handout. Our next handout is the website terminology handout. And this is a Word document, so if you're on the website, you can download it, but I'm going to pass it out now. Okay, so with the website terminology handout, throughout the 2-hour workshop here today, these terms are going to start working on us. Pages, themes, menus, blocks, and so on. So you can have that sheet there, and if you want to take some notes on it or elsewhere, I'll leave that up to you. So we're over here at the Google site. And in this Google site, I can have multiple pages. A website has multiple pages, and they're linked together, and you can move around easily. So right here is your page title. Okay, so let's put Milford, whatever you want, Milford UMC, or if you want to write out Milford United Methodist Church, however you want to do it. So that's going to be the title, and this is going to be what's going to be seen in this banner across the top. Now let's click up here in this upper left-hand corner, and this is going to be like the file name, okay? And I think I'm going to put Milford UMC with lowercase and no spaces, and I might decide to change that later. So this is going to be my opening page. And if you look on this right-hand side, if I could have your attention up here, we can put in a text box, we can put in an image, we can embed code. It is going to be important today to learn a little bit about what we mean by HTML code, or we can input things directly from the drive, which is a very nice feature of Google Sites, by the way. So I think I'm going to click text box. And that pops me a text box in here. By the way, this is a block. So on your handout, this is an example of a block. I'm not sure if Google Sites actually calls them blocks, but that is a block, okay? And so you can put text in here. Let me go ahead and make a comment right off the bat here, which is on your handout at the bottom, note on formatting web pages. I can have boldface here, and I can have italics, okay? I can have bulleted lists, I can have numbered lists, I can center in left justify, right justify, but notice that I do not have an option for changing my font size, okay? As you can see on our handout, generally, you cannot change the font size like you normally would in Word. Instead, what we do is we use headings. So this is maybe welcome. okay? And I'm going to highlight that. And you see here that this is normal text. If I hit this drop down, I have titles, headings, subheadings, and small. This is the way Google Sites does it, okay? Actually, the kind of correct way to do it is heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, okay? The intention is that this will be an organized web page, okay? So this is probably going to be a title. If that's a little too big, you might just use heading. And that is going to be formatted. One of the reasons that you don't just manually go in there and make it a 21-point font or something is to make this so it can be viewed on other devices. For this to be a good website, it has to work on a phone. It has to work on an iPad. And so they're not going to just let the web page creator willy-nilly change the fonts. Okay, so the next thing is let's go ahead and put in an image for fun here. So, and I'm going to upload an image. That's interesting. It came up here with this Advent thing. Let's just see what this is. Okay, so this is a banner that we had, and I inserted an image. Okay, now I'm about 3 minutes away from the work time, so if I could have your attention for just a couple more minutes. Right here is publish. Publish generally means to put it out to the internet so that it's available. And my web address is going to be Milford UMC, okay? In fact, you can, I don't know if you can read it, but right here is the kind of the rest of the URL. I'm going to go ahead and stay with that, and I'm going to publish this. And right down here at the bottom was an opportunity to view it, which disappeared on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that again. I'm going to hit publish. And there's a couple, look down here at the bottom, you see where it says view, you hit view, okay? So it's a good idea to have a tab open that is the website itself. This one is editing the website, okay? And this is one of the things I love about doing websites is you can always check your work, okay? And this is working pretty well, okay. And then I can come back and I can edit some more and I can publish again, okay? So I'm gonna let you just get in there and play now, and I'm gonna come around and help you, and you can experiment. Don't worry about breaking anything. You can try these layouts, you can try from Drive, and then we're gonna come back and show you some more things. Okay. What I'd like to do now is just show you a couple more things, and I'm going to give you some more work time. First thing I'd like to do is show you how to make a new page. So this over here in the Google Sites, insert pages and themes. You might call this the dashboard, so to speak. And if we click the Pages tab, right now, all I have is my one page, and it's the home page. This one right here that says Milford UMC, this is going to be where it starts. Right down here is the plus sign, and this plus sign is going to be for a new page or a new link. I'm going to get a new page. So let's, a very important page for any website, whether you're a church or nonprofit or whatever, is an about page. So I'm going to create an about page, and here it is. And I'm going to insert a text box. Milford United Methodist Church is located at, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, I am not recommending that you start with your address, okay? You want to make this inviting. Milford United Methodist Church is an exciting community of believers or something like that, okay? You want to make this exciting. But you want to make sure that your address is on there, your phone number, the name of the pastor. It's very important to put basic information. Oftentimes people use websites just to get an address, just to get a phone number. So you can think about what you want to put there. Now I'm going to hit publish. And it's publishing. And now I'm going to come over to my other tab, which is the actual website. Now I do need to refresh this because the website is new now. So however you want to refresh, right here is the reload or refresh. And notice something very important. Up here in the upper right-hand corner, we have a little menu started for us. I got 2 pages in my website. Woohoo! I've got a home page and I've got an about page. If I hit this about, it takes me to the about page. And I can always jump back to home, okay? The nice thing about this is it's doing a lot of the work for you, okay? Any questions relative to creating the new page? Notice I've got 2 pages here. Now I want to talk about themes, and then I'm going to give you some work time. Themes, you'll notice on our website terminology sheet, themes are available in Google Sites and WordPress. This has to do with the look, feel, layout, and colors, and your fonts and everything. Now, in Google Sites, there are not too many themes, but there are a few. Looks like I might be on Simple right now. Here is Aristotle. It's a little bit different color palette. Here's Diplomat. Okay, it happens to put a white box around your title. Here's the Vision theme. Okay, I think Vision theme might have been what I used for the example church website. So you can experiment with these themes. So let's go ahead and use the impression theme here, and I'm going, or maybe, yeah, the impression theme, and I'm going to publish that and come over here to my actual website and refresh this. And now I have kind of this peach colored bar underneath here. So the look and feel can drastically change with using themes. Now I'm going to give you some more work time, and if you'd like to get a cup of coffee or something to eat, you can do that. Go back to work time. Yes, an important point was made that when we publish, this is out on the internet. So it's a good idea to put a block in here, back here on your home page. Put a block in here. That says that this website is under construction. This website is under construction. This website is not ready for public use. This is just a test. This is only a test. And I would make this nice and big. That's maybe a little bit too big. By the way, the fact that this went all caps for a title is because of my theme. Okay? If you change your theme, it changes your titles. The other thing about these blocks is they're movable. And this is important. I need to have your attention up here. These blocks are movable, and there's a little grab thing here. So I'm going to move this one down. Okay. So this is a good point. I appreciate you bringing it up. We are putting this out on the internet. Okay. We're doing the real thing here. Okay. So it's a good idea to put something like that. Back to work time and snack time. I'm ready to get started again. And this will maybe be the last thing I'm going to show on Google Sites today, and then we'll be showing more with Google Sites on our second workshop. How to pull from Google Drive. And this is actually quite a nice feature. And this is a good way to have information that's going to be changing. So you're probably not going to have time to do this here live, so I just want to kind of have you watch. On my Google Drive, I have a folder here called Files and Docs for the website. And these are Google Docs, okay? If you want to make a Google Doc, you right-click and you make a Google Doc. I have a Google Doc for announcements, I have a Google Doc for Sunday school classes, and a Google Doc for the mission trip. This Sunday school classes document, I want to put on the website. So this is not the Milford UMC, this is my example church. So I've created a page called Sunday School. This is my Sunday School page. And I'm going to be inserting from the drive. Over here in our blocks here, we can insert a text box, image, embed code, or I can go from the drive. So what I need to do now is navigate to the file. And of course, very important that you have your folders organized. Now, just to see how well I remember, there's my Sunday school document. Here's my Sunday school document. And see what it says down on the bottom? Insert. So it's going to insert the entire document in here. This is a good way to do announcements. Okay? Now, the good news is I'm going to go ahead and publish this. And I'm going to view it. All right. So right here is the web page. One way to update this is to update the Google Doc. It is. It's lorem spurum, which is the mock text that you can use. Okay. So if I come back here in Google Docs, I can edit this and maybe make this actual language, except I don't want it bold. So I'm going to, by the way, Google Docs is a full-featured word processor. And Google Docs, see what it says up here? All changes saved to the drive. So if this is working right, cross your fingers. If I come back to my website and I refresh this page, come on, baby. That's interesting. Wow, it didn't do it completely. That's why you test out your web page, okay? I may have gotten in too big of a rush. This is the Google Doc, and it looks like it's correct. Let's see if I can refresh here. We're kind of asking a lot in 5 seconds. Yeah, for some reason, it's not updating correctly. I think if we would come back in 5 minutes or even 3 minutes, it'd be okay. All right. We're going to be doing more with Google Sites in the next workshop, but we need to move on in our agenda. Are there any pressing questions at this point? All right. So I'm going to close these Google Sites tabs, and I'm going to come back to our agenda. And I want to take a little bit of time, agenda item number 5, and talk about the principles of website design. So I'm going to pass out that handout. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this to you, but I'll emphasize a few things. People are visual. The internet is visual. If you have a tweet that has a picture in it, more people will pay attention to it than just a tweet with text, okay? So you've got to get onto photos and graphics. On the website, when I talked about the people that you need at your church in order to make a website, one of the things you need is somebody that's going to take pictures, okay? If you have a cool ice cream social, you need to take pictures of it. Focus on your strengths. I'm teaching you today just the technical stuff. I'm pretty good with the technical stuff, but you're the creative ones. You need to make your church attractive. This needs to be part of an overall communication plan. Communication is huge. You use Facebook. Use Facebook to drive traffic to your website. Use your website to drive traffic to Facebook. They complement each other quite well. It's important to keep your website up to date. Number 7 here. The goal is to have a website that's up to date. Now, that may be impossible to fully reach that goal, but that is your goal. That's what we're trying, okay? We're moving on to sanctification, right? Okay. A small sin is to have a website that is not up to date. For example, the time of the Christmas Eve service is not posted on the website. Okay, it's not up to date. That's a small sin. You want to try to avoid that. The large sin is a website that is out of date. For example, you have the time for last year's Christmas Eve service still posted on your website. Okay, you want to avoid that. Okay, it makes your website, it makes your church look poor. Okay, this is another thing I'm going to be talking about in the second workshop, is how to keep your website up to date. Because if you have to manually go in there and take stuff off, that's very difficult to do. And I've been doing websites since 1999. I've got a few ideas for you on how to keep your website up to date, or at least not committing the large sin. Which leads into number 8, which I'll be talking about next time. Have a plan for removing information. Okay. Any questions at this point in the workshop on anything? Becky. Yes, yes. The question is, can you get rid of a website? And yes, you can get rid of a website. Back here in the Google Drive, so all you got to do here is just right click on this and remove it. Just like you would, that's in Google Sites. The question is, many of our United Methodist churches are 2-point charges or 3-point charges. Do you want to have 2 websites or 1 website? It depends. I hate that answer. If you have people at each church that are techie enough and interested enough to do it, you can have 2. But the reality is here, if I go to my orientation and overview, in order to pull this off, you got to have people. To have Sunday school, you got to have people, right? So, is it here in this one? Oh, that's the video. Sorry. Where's my document? Here, people your church needs to make and maintain a website. Okay. It could very well be that you really have only one webmaster in both of your churches. So I think I would have one website. Okay. The good news is that you can use your now I've lost my website here. Sorry. I need to get over to my sample website here, Example Church. The good news is that you can have your pages up here, right? And you can have a page for Carmen United Methodist, and you can have a page for Stronghurst United Methodist, and you can have pages under pages. Okay.
So the address, the full site address, I name it Carmen/Stronghurst Church. That one appears.
Yes.
So is that going to show up no matter if they type Carmen or if they type Stronghurst? Is that going to pull up on the website?
It depends a little bit. The search engine thing is a topic for another day. But I would put a pretty simple name. By the way, don't use slash because slash is but you can use a hyphen, I think. Carmen Stronghurst UMC. Yeah, and that's what's going to be up there. And then when you go to these other pages, like the About page, it tacks it on the end. All right? Any other questions about anything? Becky? Okay, all right. The question is about using pictures. Let me give you a quick comment on that. I don't want to spend too much time on it because we got the rest of our agenda, but it is a very good question. So let's say you want a picture for Ice Cream Social. So I'm in Google and I put Ice Cream Social. And it's going to search here. And now I'm going to hit images. And here are all the possible images for all. Now, it is not legal to use all of these, but there's an important thing here. Tools. If you hit tools, right down here are some other tools for searching for images. And here's usage rights. I use this on a daily basis. Labeled for reuse. Okay. Labeled for non-commercial reuse. Now, the subtle differences between these, you'll have to read more about that. I'm going to just put labeled for reuse. So these have been put out there free of charge. So I could use this one right here if I wanted to. Just one other comment here is maybe you want a clip art. These right here are clip arts that are labeled for reuse. Okay. Now, one of the other things I put in the orientation here, actually, I think it might be over here in other resources, is it is very useful to have a way of creating graphics. So over here under other resources, I have some links here for making graphics. I'm not, I don't even do Photoshop. It's too much for me. But having a picture with some ice cream cones and then putting Green River UMC ice cream social over the top, that would be kind of nice. So that answers that question. Okay, now we're going to move on in our agenda. The next thing in our agenda is how to create a WordPress site. So if we go to our workshop number 1, and come down here, we have our agenda. I made a video for this process. Actually, by making the video, I found out the process isn't quite as bad as I thought. But this is a YouTube video, and I'm talking about how to create a website using WordPress, okay? It's pretty easy. I'm going to take you through the process. Get yourself a new tab. Open up a new tab. And put WordPress. I got to be able to type here. And I don't think I'm going to go to WordPress. I'm just going to have WordPress. Okay. And it's this first one I'm going to go to. Very good. Now, Google is Google. It may not take you to this first one, but eventually we're going to get on the same thing. Now, you do need to have an account, right? You got to have an account for everything. The good news is you can use your Google account. So up here for login, you can create an account and you can create your account with Google. So I'm going to pause this and I want everybody to create a WordPress account and make sure you write down your username and password. Okay, so I am logged in. And actually, it looks like I haven't put a picture in of myself, but right here is my profile. And I'm going to make a new site. So somehow this one has new site way down here at the bottom. Add new site. And you might need to hit get started or something like that. Okay. Is everybody finding something for create site? And does it take you to this page? Okay. All right. This is where you want to start. And you'll notice that this is step 1 of 6. Okay. This is step 1 of 6. Since it's WordPress, everything's going to be a block. Okay. I lean toward business on this for a church. If you want to use one of these other ones, you may, but remember you can add and change features later. So this is not a critical step. Let's hit business. And let's put in church. Actually, I'm gonna use Methodist Church. If you want to just use plain church, but I'm going to use Methodist Church just for fun. I'm on step 2 of 6, and I'm going to hit continue. Now, it's starting to do the work for me here. And this is the phone view over here and so on. This is going smoothly. Now, let's see what this question is here in step 3 of 6. This is going to be the business name. I'm going to call this just a sample church because I'm just learning. And I'm going to continue. And notice, this is the title of our homepage. Now you're going to choose a style. And once again, this can be changed later. This is kind of like your themes. I think I'm going to choose calm just to do it. You can change the theme later. I'm up to step 5 of 6. Now we're putting in the address. And this is going to be the name that's actually up in the URL. And I think I'll call it just sample. I'm going to call it just sample. Now, this is WordPress.com. Okay, they are trying to make money. Okay, so they are giving me a pay option. It turns out that justsample.blog is available. Okay, so it's kind of cool. When I put in some of these yesterday, what was available, and I can pay $22 a year. Now, you might want to check into that. I think it's probably more than $22 a year, but this website workshop is not on that. Right down here is free. Right? Oh, they put a number in there. So it wasn't available. Okay, so I'm going to use a different one here. How about Just Sample Church? There we go. Just Sample Church is available. I think I'm going to make it Just Sample Church 314, just because I want to. And that is available free. Just Sample Church 314.wordpress.com is available for free. Thank you very much. Yes, if you already own your own domain, it's here. So I'm gonna hit select on this free. Okay, once again, they're trying to make money. And by the way, I'm glad they're trying to make money. If they don't, they'll stop having this service. Here's all your options, but look here. Start with a free site. Now, one of the things I'm kind of recommending today is you try out the free site, and if you like it, if you think WordPress is a tool for you, then you might go to the United Methodist Church or actually buy a domain. Okay, this gives you a chance to test drive this WordPress, and if you like it, you pay what do you pay to the conference? $51 to the Illinois Great Rivers Annual Conference. It's even cheaper than the $72 that I'm paying. Oh, is that separate? Okay, all right. Yeah.
If you want to know the details.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip this here because I want to get right into it. All right. I like WP Admin. Right here down at the bottom is WP Admin. WP Admin, to me, is the primary editing tool. Down at the bottom left. You're not seeing it? Okay, let me pause this and come around. So sometimes we have a hard time getting to WP Admin. So I'm actually looking at the site right now, and there might be some other ways to do it, but let me show you one foolproof method. You've got your URL up here, and at the end of it, put /WP-admin. Might want to write that down on a sheet of paper. /WP-admin. At the end of the URL, you're actually viewing the website /WP-admin. And I do this almost on a daily basis. Hit enter. Yes, a hyphen like a minus sign, if you don't mind. And it gets you to this interface. All right, what I'd like you to do is to look at the handout that's on website terminology. And if you have questions about things, you can ask. But let's go ahead here and make a new page. We're looking at the dashboard right now. And I'm going to make a new page. So we're going to come down here to pages. And of course, there's lots of ways to make a new page. You can do it here, or you can go to all pages. Let's add new page. This is going to be a new page, and you can select a template if you want. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to just have a blank one. Here's where I'm going to add my title. I'm going to make an about page, one of the first things that you should make when you're making a website. And you type in your information. So this does use blocks, okay? And they call them blocks here, okay? Now, when you're ready to publish this, here's publish right up here. You publish. And I'm going to view the page, but I'm going to view it in a new tab. I'm going to right click and I'm going to view this in a new tab. Let's see if we can look at it here. Okay. So this is what the page looks like right now. Interesting that it gave me a little footer here for sharing. That was a default, but I can get rid of that if I want. Okay. Now let's see here. Let's view the website. Remember, viewing the website and actually looking at it is key to all this. It is typically the case that if you hit here at the top, if you click on the title of a website, it takes you back to the home page. This is the home page right here, just a sample church. Now, actually, the about us, this was all given to me as a default. Okay, this was all given to me as a default. So let's go back to our editing tab. This is the editing tab here. And let's look at our pages. You can see here that I've got 2 pages on this website. I've got a home page, which is the front page, and I've got an about page. So if I want to edit this home page, I can do that from the all pages. And I can come down here and I can delete these blocks. This is a block here. And right here under the ... there's more options. And here's the trash can. I can remove that block. Or I can add a block. And I can add images, headers, lots of things that I can add here. And I'm going to update this. And so I can come over and check it out, refresh this, and so on. All right. I'll just show you maybe one more thing here, and then I'll give you some work time. Where are the themes? This is one of the big strengths, one of the many strengths of WordPress. In my editor here, if I go to Appearance, I've got lots of things I can do. I can change my theme, I can customize widgets, menus, and so on. I'm going to come to my themes. And these themes here are all available free. There are many free themes out there. And this is one of the things about WordPress is it's crowdsourced. The whole internet is working on it. Okay. One of the ones I like to use is graphene. So I'm going to search themes for graphene. It's not there. So I'm going to, I could search it here. I can search for other ones, but I think I'm going to take this one here called 2011. And I can preview my site using 2011. And this is what it would look like using this theme. It looks like there is no link to the About page right now, but maybe I want to activate and publish that. So I'm going to use that theme. As I mentioned on the handout, themes can be changed in a heartbeat to change your look and feel. I need to get back here. All right. So I think I'm going to give you some work time where you can play with various things here and ask questions.